May 3, 2007. A quiet evening in the seaside town of Praia da Luz, Portugal. A British family on holiday, a dinner just 55 meters away, and a 3-year-old girl who vanished without a trace. This is the story of Madeleine McCann, one of the most haunting and high-profile missing persons cases in modern history. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to tackle the mysterious disappearance of Madeleine McCann. Was she taken by an unknown figure lurking in the shadows, or do her parents hold secrets the world has yet to uncover? For the police, the most likely suspect is a convicted sex offender, Christian Brückner, a German man known to have lived in the area at the time, but time is running out. Brückner is set to be released from prison in September, and he has plans to disappear after his release due to the intense attention he has received as a suspect in the case. With that in mind, let's take a look at the timeline, the theories, and the current status of her case as it stands today. On April 28, 2007, the McCanns, parents Kate and Jerry, 3-year-old Madeleine, and twin 2-year-olds Sean and Amelie, arrived in Praia da Luz for a week-long holiday. They were joined by several of their friends who had also brought their children. By the evening of May 3rd, the McCanns had developed a bedtime routine. At 7 p.m., Kate and Jerry would tuck their children in, and once they were asleep, the couple would head out for dinner at a nearby tapas restaurant with their friends. As on previous nights, the apartment remained unlocked, a decision they had made considering their frequent check-ins on the children. The restaurant was roughly 50 meters, 165 feet, from the Ocean Club complex where the children slept, and the group had devised a system where a parent would check in on their children every 30 minutes. By 9 p.m., it was Jerry's turn to check on the children. Everything seemed normal, though he later recalled that the bedroom door's position was slightly different from how they had left it. At 9:15 p.m., Jane Tanner, another parent in the group, passed by the McCann's apartment on her way to check on her own children. She later claimed to have seen a man carrying a small child dressed in pajamas, barefoot and cradled in his arms. At 9:30 p.m., another parent, Matthew Oldfield, went to check on his own kids and also offered to look in on the McCann's children since their apartment was right next door. He returned reporting that everything was quiet. At 10 p.m., Kate McCann headed back to the apartment for her scheduled check-in on the children. As she stepped inside, she immediately noticed something was wrong. The door to the children's bedroom was wide open. The twins were still sleeping soundly in their beds, but Madeleine was gone, and the window stood ajar. The exterior shutters lifted. Kate raced back to the restaurant, alerting the other parents and staff, and within moments, the search for Madeleine McCann began. By May 4th, Portuguese authorities announced their belief that Madeleine had been abducted but was still alive somewhere in Portugal. 10 days later, they named their first official suspect, Robert Moura, an Anglo-Portuguese man living nearby. His home was searched, his pool drained, and even his associates questioned. However, by 2008, he was officially cleared of any involvement. Then, on August 4th, a Portuguese newspaper reported that British sniffer dogs had detected traces of blood on a wall inside the McCann's holiday apartment, escalating tensions and speculation. By September, the investigation took a dramatic turn. Madeleine's parents, Kate and Jerry, were declared arguidos, or suspects in their own daughter's disappearance. This development followed alerts from specialist cadaver and human blood dogs in a vehicle the McCanns had rented 25 days after Madeleine vanished. Forensic teams later found DNA samples in the trunk of the family's silver Renault Scenic, a car that, according to cell tower data, had been driven extensively across Portugal and even into Spain. When returned to the rental company on September 23rd, the car had logged an astonishing 11,227 kilometers. Portuguese authorities theorized that Madeleine may have died accidentally and that her parents staged an abduction to cover it up. The McCanns were later formally cleared of all suspicions. The investigation spanned 14 months, but on July 21, 2008, Portuguese authorities officially declared the case closed and unsolved. But the McCanns never gave up. They launched their own investigation, hired private detectives, and kept Madeleine's face in the public eye. In 2011, the UK's Metropolitan Police opened Operation Grange. New leads emerged, e-fits were released, but no breakthrough. In 2020, German authorities named Christian Brückner, a convicted sex offender, as the prime suspect. He had lived near Praia da Luz at the time of Madeleine's disappearance, but despite searches, including a recent dig near his former property in June 2025, no conclusive evidence has tied him to the case. Christian Brückner, a convicted sex offender, lived in Portugal's Algarve region from 1995 to 2007, working odd jobs and committing burglaries. Around the time Madeleine vanished, he was reportedly living in a white VW camper van seen near the Ocean Club. His other car, a 1993 Jaguar with German plates, was also spotted in the area, and suspiciously he transferred its ownership the day after Madeleine disappeared. He quietly left Portugal soon after. Investigators later traced a phone call Brückner received in Praia da Luz between 7:32 and 8:02 p.m. on the night of the abduction, placing him near the scene. Madeleine is believed to have been taken between 9:10 and 10 p.m. Brückner was also linked to two properties nearby, one just 10 minutes from the resort, the other a mile away, close to the area searched by British police in 2014. Unfortunately, everything we've laid out here is just circumstantial, and though the authorities seem certain that they've found their man, justice and answers elude the McCann family until all the answers have been found. Until then, we hold on to hope. If you want to hear more true crime stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you won't miss the next upload. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe.